What's up, everybody? Wanted to give a quick little update. I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded actually any kind of content really, other than some little reels or some quick videos of a pass or two. Before I came out here and got in the garage and started doing some stuff here a little while ago, I actually looked back at YouTube of when the last time that I've actually uploaded an update and talked and have said some stuff, and it's been since before Texas. It was actually when we first started the car up, which is crazy because so much stuff has happened since then. We got on the dyno, we went to Texas, we did the big wheelie, we fixed the car, we went to Ocean City, Hot Rod Weekend, we went to ACO, we went to MIR, and now it's torn apart again. So thinking about or going back to see when the last time I've actually gave you guys some information, it's been a while. And I don't want to sit here and talk for 40 minutes and catch everybody up, but we can go through a little quick recap of what's happened and where we stand now. So like I said, I've uploaded some small stuff since then. I've uploaded the qualifying pass at Texas 2K. I've uploaded the hit I made at MIR. I didn't, after the wheelie, I didn't upload anything at ACO because I didn't get any video at ACO. But yeah, so of course everybody's seen the wheelie at Texas. I got some footage from Texas. I really just got to like put it together and get someone to edit it and make it look cool and not so corny like me. But I do have some pretty good footage from Texas. So after Texas, we came back, did everything we needed to do to get the car back together. I do that annual hot rod weekend down Ocean City, kind of take a little vacation with the car. So between March in Texas and May for Hot Rod Weekend, we took about 2 months to put the car back together and fix everything. I think the week prior to Hot Rod Weekend, the new turbos came in. I made it to Hot Rod Weekend. Then after Hot Rod Weekend, it was getting ready to make it roadworthy and driving worthy and race ready again and see what it would do on the new turbos. So we got everything race ready. We went to ACO, first time ever at ACO, first time ever going there to watch, race, spectate, anything. Went out there for a Saturday event, made one qualifier pass, and they kicked me out. So 5 hours of driving and a lot of time and effort spent for one pass. So that was kind of short-lived. I went out there with a couple buddies, but they were real strict on the starting line, and I was more worried about my first pass jitters kind of since the accident, or since the wheelie, if you will. So I wasn't too stressed on video, and I just wanted to get down the track, and I did, and then we got kicked. So then after that, it was kind of trying to find somewhere to go. We knew that I couldn't go to Cecil anymore, so we planned to hit MIR. I think we went down there on a Wednesday back in June or July. Went down there on a Wednesday for kind of like a radial prep test session, just made 8th mile hits. I have not been to the quarter yet on the new 6870s. So anything since Texas, really, now that I think about it, I have not been to the quarter but twice so far on the motor. Texas, I had 2 qualifiers. That's the only time I went to the quarter. It went 70-70. It went 770 both times. And then it did the big wheelie in E1. And then ACO, I did not go to the quarter. And MIR, I didn't go to the quarter because I was worried about getting thrown out, and I kind of just wanted to get the short track down. So pretty crazy to think that after the big winter makeover and all the money spent on the motor and all the changes this thing's been through since December of last year, it has only been to the quarter twice so far. Kind of disappointing, actually, but that's all about the change, because what I'm about to show you guys don't have too good of any kind of footage, but I do have a little clip and some stuff that I can show you. But it's all about the change because the car is apart. The dash is out of it. The carpet is out of it. A lot of the interior pieces are out of it. I'm going to slide a little clip in here to show some pictures and a little walk around of before I went and dropped it off. But things are happening, and the change is finally happening of now it is at a chassis shop getting a roll cage. So as everybody knows, if you follow me, it has not had a cage since I've raced this car. Everybody knew that it needed a cage. I knew that it needed a cage. It was not something that everybody was blind to. It was a thing that I just didn't want to spend the money on until I had to, and really it got to the point now to where I can't go anywhere. I couldn't. I had all the faith in the world that I could go to ACO and make some fast passes, and I wanted to set a new personal best. And the weather was good that day. It wasn't hot. The car was running good. It went 5.0 off the trailer, first pass down the track. And then I got kicked. And I was just like, man, I've never been to this track before. They don't know me. They don't know my car. They actually kicked me out, told me go to Cecil. I'd have better luck there. As we all know, I can't go to Cecil either. So going down MIR, I only made 8th mile hits. Every time I made an 8th mile hit, they came up to my car and pretty much looked for a roll cage and said, like, hey, you know, what's going on here? And I said, I'm just doing short track. And then I went 490 and 116, like the video shows that I uploaded prior to this one. And they were like, all right, dude, like, you know, we're not kicking you, but you either got to slow it down or go get a cage. So long story short, it finally came to the point to where I did not have any options to race this car until I got a cage. And this past weekend was Yellow Bullet Nationals. I've raced at Yellow Bullet Nationals at Cecil for 4 or 5 years in a row, from my Cadillac to my Mustang when it was stock motor car, simple setup, to where I went to Yellow Bullet in 8.1 towards the end of the stock motor setup. So it was pretty disappointing to go to Yellow Bullet as a spectator. I did have fun with my friends. My buddy Chris Cruz had his Mustang there. Other buddy had his Jeep there. So it was a little bit less stressful to go as a spectator, but it really hit home at Yellow Bullet. Like, this is an event I always look forward to. It's my home track. It's 45 minutes from my house. And I can't race my car here because I don't have a cage. So a few weeks ago, when the World Cup thing started becoming a thing on the internet and Jason Miller started posting and it started to be the talk of the racing world, I really sat down and thought about, if I'm going to do a cage, now's the time to do it. I have some downtime. I can't go anywhere and race. I have a few months till November at World Cup. And can I really make this happen and get a cage in my car and go to World Cup? I knew I met the ET. I knew that my car, other than the cage, is legal. I know that I know what class I would enter. I know the rule set. So I thought, if I can do it, should I do it now? Should I do it over the winter? I feel like over the winter we might change some stuff in the motor. We might redo the trans a little bit more. I really didn't want to dive into a cage at that point, because then it would be like all at once versus kind of splitting it up. So I had my buddy Chris call Ron Rhodes Custom Auto. Asked them if they could get me in to make a World Cup push. They said yes. And I had to make a decision right then and there. Do I do the cage now and try to race at World Cup and just bite the bullet, spend the money, get it done? And the decision was yes. So that started probably, it's September now. I think mid-August is when we called Ron Rhodes and asked if we could do it. And he said, yeah. And he said, talk to him at Yellow Bullet, which was last weekend in person. We went up and talked to him. Got a deal made an agreement. He told me a timeline, and I was supposed to drop it off 2 weeks from now. And he called me this week after he got home from Yellow Bullet and said, hey, like, I'm ready for it now. Just bring it now. So me and Chris stayed up one night, took about 4 or 5 hours, ripped the car completely to shreds, broke my heart seeing that thing in a million pieces. Probably the only part that I haven't touched of this car is the interior. I've never done anything inside other than taking some stuff out and putting a tillet in it and wiring and all my electronics, but I've never really dove into the dashboard or anything like that. So had the motor out, obviously, had the front end off, I've had the subframe out, I've had the rear out of it, had the suspension out of it, brakes, I mean, trunk, doors. I've had everything other than the interior out of this car. So this was kind of the last thing, but it was kind of making me feel some type of way to really rip this thing apart. But it saved me money on the cage. It saved them time at the chassis shop to have to tear it all down and put it all back together. So in the end, it was best for me to do it. Now I know where everything goes and where everything's at. Whether it goes back together as smooth or as good as it once was, I guess we'll see. So that's where it's at. So it's at Rhodes Custom Auto in Delaware. Everybody knows if you're on the East Coast or you're a racer around here, especially in Maryland or Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, you know Ron Rhodes, you know Ronnie Rhodes, his son. You know, Ron Rhodes just won X275 Yellow Bullet. He probably holds some records that I can't name off the top of my head. I know he was real big in small block nitrous. He's got a big block nitrous now. Ronnie's got a small block nitrous. Ultra Street X275. I think he ran some LDR. They've raced at World Cup. They've done some quarter mile stuff. They've done some slick stuff, PDRA. So they're pretty well known. Small shop in Delaware. They crank out a lot of work. They do a lot of good stuff. They do a lot of big money, big dollar stuff, and they do a lot of little stuff too. They paint in-house. They do body stuff in-house, chassis stuff, welding, fabrication, customization. Pretty sure you can drop off a car to them and pick it up turnkey from a bone stock car to a 2,000 horsepower, you know, twin turbo, whatever you want to call it. So I've always seen them around in the racing community, but never really dealt with them or had a conversation with them up until now. But of course, being buddies with everybody in the Ultra Street that races with Ronnie and being friends with X275 guys that race with Ron, it's no, you know, it's no, I'm not, whatever I'm trying to say. I'm aware it's not like I didn't know that they didn't do good work. So everybody knows that, and I think the car's in good hands. So they have it now. They're going to send me some progress pictures this week. They're going to start on it this week. I'm going to get it picked up, done, cage painted, fabrication done. They're putting harnesses in it. They're putting a window net in it. They're mounting the chute handle on the cage. Before I put it all back together, I'm going to get it inserted and get the sticker on the cage, and then it'll be reassemble time and get it back together, and then it's full force in the World Cup prep. So that's kind of an update and where we stand and what the plan is. It's pretty crazy to think that in 1 year or one race season, I'm going to be racing at two of the biggest events in the country. I mean, I know that's always kind of like a thing of what's bigger. Or, you know, I know Texas 2K is more of a street car event, and World Cup's more of an international, you know, heads-up drag racing event. So they both have their things. I think that you really can't deny that probably Texas is more street car-ish and roll racing and stuff like that. And it was huge. It was big. The turnout was crazy. The car count was crazy. The crowd was crazy. But if you look at pictures from a aerial view or kind of like overall, I think World Cup takes the cake on like the biggest thing in the country to race at. Yellow Bullet's pretty big too. Yellow Bullet's more heads up class racing, 7-8 classes, kind of like a Northeast thing. I mean, some people do travel, but it's not necessarily as countrywide as World Cup and as Texas is. So FL2K is big, Monats is big, but I think World Cup really seals the deal. So it's pretty crazy to think that I didn't even think that I was going to make Texas 2K. I was in shock that I was down there racing at it, and then here we are about to do World Cup. I'm registered. We're going to be on Wild Street. I think I'm a little outgunned with the 6R80, but the minimum ET was 779. I had the minimum ET covered by a good bit, and I think that we can go a little bit faster than 7.7 that I've been so far, especially in the air with the new turbos and everything else. I mean, got interrupted. Somebody called me or something. So, and then I just seen my phone's got 3%. So anyway, in the air and the new turbos and stuff, and we haven't made any quarter mile hits on the new turbos. We haven't raced in this good of air. We haven't been max power, max boost yet. Really, I don't even know if we were max power, max boost. I think the 64, 66s could have taken a little bit more in Texas, which I put in it when it did the wheelie. But yeah, so Wild Street's supposed to be a 720 to 770, 780 class. I think my car kind of falls right in the middle at a 750, maybe a 740 car. So I don't by any means think that I'm going to be number one qualifier and in the front. I have no problem admitting that. There's some fast cars. To get my car to go a 720 or a 730 is unheard of. I mean, that's why nobody's been faster than 750 with a S550 and a 6R80. So I'm looking to change that and hopefully go 740s and kind of take this micro record and whatever down there. But I'm just looking forward to the experience and the event. With how bad Texas was with the rain and the weather and the wheelie and how it ended up, it's just something that I'll never forget. I had a good-ass time with my friends. You know, family came down, my kid, like, it was great. It, like, no matter how that ended, it was cool. So, and World Cup is an hour and a half from my house. No long drive, no 30 hours in the RV to get down there. Tuesday to Sunday, another week-long vacation. I won't be at work, and I'll be at the racetrack. So no matter what, I could get out first round or I could go rounds. However it plays out, it's going to be great for me, and it's cool that I'm going to experience it. So I'm down. We're registered for Wild Street. We're going to have the cage. Chassis is going to be legal. It's going to pass tech. The rule set fits my car. I can come in at 3550. We're going to do some stuff to make sure that the weight that the cage adds, we're going to get back out of it because my car is about 3550 now. So whatever the cage puts in, whether it's 80 or 100 pounds, we're going to need to get 100 pounds back out of it, and we're going to do some stuff to make it happen. And two, it made me think too when I said I've never really done anything to the interior, and this is kind of the first time. I mean, I did do the digital cluster and the GT500 steering wheel, and this car has been through so many stages, maybe sometimes I forget what I've actually done. I know I've spent a crap load of time on the inside of this car, wiring it from the AMS to the watt box to the 6R stager to all the gauges, the electronics, the air compressor, the meth. I mean, I do have some time in this interior, but maybe this is just kind of the last thing that I have not conquered yet is the dashboard and anything dash related. So before my phone dies and it cuts out, that about wraps up kind of the recap. Cars at the chassis shop. When I pick it up, I'm definitely going to get some videos. If I get any progress pictures from them, I'm definitely going to upload it or put it together as a clip. Maybe I could roll some footage and get some footage of us trying to put it back together. And then there is a little in between now and World Cup. I'm going to go back to the fall hot rod weekend. I know it's so weird that I make that thing such a deal. Like, if you're not from around here, from the area that I live in, you won't understand how cool of an event hot rod weekend and going to the beach, the ocean with your car and a bunch of cars is. So I've talked about it in many videos, and if you're not from around here, you're probably thinking, like, is this guy a drag racer or is he a hard parker at a car show? Kind of do both, honestly. So anyway, there's two OC hot rod weekends, spring and fall, and the fall one is coming up. So hopefully I can get the car back next week, week after, put it all back together, make Hot Rod Weekend, beginning of October, and then I'll have exactly 1 month to get the car ready for World Cup. So that's kind of where we stand. I'm super excited to, this money does suck to spend, and it's not what I feel like I'm buying metal. Like I'm in a trade and do stuff for work that deals with metal all day and scrap metal and heating and air conditioning equipment, and I junk metal and throw it away all day. And I don't know, just something inside of me thinks that I'm spending all this money to get some bars and some metal put in my car. It's just the way that my brain's working, and I'd much rather be buying, like, I don't know, close ratio turbo 400, and nice converter, and some new wheels, painted blue to match my car, or a new enclosed trailer that has like AC in it. So I don't know, just thinking of it in a weird way, it's just like, damn, this sucks to buy, but it is for safety. It will definitely help my family and my friends stop being up my butt about safety and worrying about me. And anytime I've ever raced this car, well, it's been a while since I went to the quarter, but anytime I've raced this car to the quarter, all out, balls to the walls, like the 7-second pass on the stock motor, I mean, I'm normally praying in the staging lanes or before the burnout box of, if this thing blows up, just let it blow up and don't hit the wall or wreck this car because of the cage. Granted, that's still going to be what I want to happen, but at least now I have the peace of mind knowing that if something is out of my control and I were to hit the wall or something were to happen, I'll be protected. So I can't wait for you guys to see the cage. Can't wait to showcase Ron Rhodes' work. Not like I already have to, but they don't do too much late model stuff. I think they've done 3 or 4 S550s. So I'd like to showcase their work and maybe turn some work over to them, or maybe, you know, show how good them guys really are. Not like I need to, but just I like to represent people that help me. And we're definitely going to be rocking some Rhodes Custom Auto stickers down at World Cup. So wish me luck on putting this thing back together. I was dreading tearing it apart. I watched a bunch of videos and made a bunch of Facebook posts, and everybody said it's like one of the hardest things to do. I seen somebody say, before you pull the dash, sell the car, because it's that bad. And it was pretty bad, but now that I've done it once, I feel like I'd do it again. My whole thing is just putting it back together so it doesn't sound like a box of rocks going down the road, and it doesn't have a bunch of loose stuff and whatever and sound like shit. Because it was a pretty solid, smooth ride and quiet interior still, even with the motor and everything else. So, but yeah, that's about it. The RPG Bullet still holding strong. 6R80 still holding strong. Stock rear still holding strong. The new turbos want some steam and want some power, and I haven't given it to them yet. And I'm excited to see what we can do at World Cup.